funding of terrorism by our government, British Royal Intelligence, Mossad. Countless people are funding terrorism under the cover of rebel troops. Now, if you are of the belief that supporting rebel troops is somehow going to help limit civilian casualties, I have only to mention a couple of countries like Libya or Egypt or any type of operation in Syria where we are seeing more and more civilian casualties as a result of our supporting rebel troops. And the support of ISIS is well documented. So why are we now fighting the very same group that the CIA has been funding? Because it took a long time for that problem to manifest into a full-scale issue. Now, right after Barack Obama, I can't believe he did it, but right after he traded a known deserter for 5 terrorists, Taliban terrorists that killed thousands of our men, right after that, the situation with ISIS started really getting serious. It's been going on for a couple of years. Right after, you'll notice within a few days of them being released, those 5 known terrorists, the situation got way worse. I have to ask all of you who have simple logic working for you, how could we possibly have released 5 known terrorists and negotiated with terrorists to trade for a known deserter who publicly abdicated his involvement with our country and openly accepted Islam as his religion and their jihadist beliefs? So what this man, David Cameron, is doing is merely being a vocal voice box or a puppet for the very people that want to destabilize countries around the world like Syria, Libya, Egypt, Yemen, Tunisia, Ukraine. We are seeing these puppet leaders like Obama and Cameron just spout off about the fear of terrorism. Now, I'm glad that they're finally checking passports in England, but that's some sort of a prerequisite that would have been done 2-3 years ago had I been president. Or perhaps even when I became president, I would have started checking passports of known terrorists. I mean, it's simple logic that he needs to do that. And no, Bergdahl was not worth the trade, Catman. Now, I understand they can take serious RPG hits, and that's why I'm saying the type of equipment that ISIS has shows me that this is a highly trained, probably CIA-led operation. Our government is sleeping with the enemy, Randall. You got it. I think all of us are on the same page here. So how do we, being aware of this duplicitous policy of funding both sides of a war, how are we as Americans going to stop it? And the only answer I can come up with is a third party. Hello, good evening, welcome to the show. If you're coming in here from the local area, I do want all of you to vote, write my name in against Rick Larsen. Write my name, David Sponheim, on the ballot in the U.S. Congressman section, District 2. Let me get a background here so we can all see what's going on. So, Sarah, let's talk a little bit about your day. And you had a busy day. You got a lot of stuff done. And
yeah, it was good.
Good. Freedom Friday. It used to be Fun Friday, but it's Freedom Friday now. Here's the banner. This is my name if you need to write my name down. Just write David Sponheim down in place of Rick Larsen. And all my signs are going out in about 2 or 3 weeks. I've got a whole lot of signs going out. And the idea is to continually be the thorn in the side of the Democratic Party. They feel so entitled. I was talking about her day, yes. The Democrats feel so entitled. They want to cling to this power so much that they're willing to sacrifice everything, including decency. And they stole my signs in the previous primary. They're willing to cheat in order to win. These are the kind of people, folks, that we have leading our country astray. And this is exactly why I'm running for president. Okay. I didn't know they're banning people at Godlike Productions. Wow. 2014, thank you. A lot of people are upset about the Republican-led, obviously conservative websites that are trying to just fan the flame. Thank you, Meow TV. They're just fanning the flame, the Republicans are, against this ISIS force. And this shows you that the two parties are basically on the same page to try to start a war. both John McCain and John Kerry both want a war in Syria. They both want to attack every outpost that Vladimir Putin has his hand in. And they both seem to be working on the side of the EU, the European Union, and of course the World Bank and the IMF. So basically it's a cozy little monetary club, and we, the American people, are the ones that have to go out and fight the dang wars, and the young men and women who are fighting are going to risk losing their life. Over what? All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to loosen up and have a cup of coffee. Thank you. Is Tavis Smiley in right now? Okay, he's not in.
Thank you. Yes, UK is more on the side of America than Europe, than most of Europe. I would say that is true. They're going to spend $1 million to prosecute Bergdahl for leaving his commands. Wow.
What was that about Bergdahl?
Someone said that they're going to spend $1 million prosecuting him.
Amazing. Well, you know, the man should never have been traded, and the fact that they made this horrible trade, which then kicked off seemingly kicked off the attacks in Iraq against the government that we helped to install there. It shows me that Maliki's position was being attacked because he was probably siding with Iran on a lot of issues. So the CIA had to come up with something in their grab bag of tricks, and the only thing they've had to do in the past is start other wars and fund oppositions, and that's exactly what's happened. And we're, American voters, are now caught in the mix, wondering what's going on, what's happening. Iraq was a failure from the get-go. It should never have ever happened. We should have gone in with special forces to take Saddam Hussein out. You and I talked about that.
Yeah.
It was one of your ideas to send in special forces to take Saddam Hussein out.
Well, you know, that was a long time ago.
I know.
But yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Why were we?
Why were we? Yeah.
Yeah. Good question, A1A. Why were we so desperate to get him back? Especially considering later when they tried to negotiate for the release of. I mean, I kind of say that later they tried to negotiate for the release of journalists, and the U.S. wouldn't do so. That's, you know, it could be said that the reason that ISIS started capturing journalists and taking them hostage is because the U.S. released certain people for Bergdahl's release. If that had never happened, then they might not have taken U.S. people prisoner. Yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes we don't negotiate, sometimes we do. That just does not seem correct. Yeah. First it was Al-Qaeda, now it's ISIS. What's next? Oh, don't forget the Ukraine. Should we just nuke them? No. I mean, I don't think that anytime you involve nuclear weapons, you should take it very seriously, Tricep Bra. You want it? What are, yes. Yes, of course. All right. The Boston bombing suspect, Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, filed a petition today wanting the judge to delay the start of his bombing till his bombing trial until September 1st of 2015, so next year, or later if they want. He just wants to stay in jail. He doesn't want to go through trial. Pretty crazy. Or stay at large if his parents post enough bonds. I just read an interesting statistic that I didn't know. About 80 people die by gunshot in the United States every day. Yeah, it's all about the innocence of collateral. Every time terrorists do something, yeah, it's how many innocents would you be really taking out the terrorists if you targeted the big cities? Yeah, I think sometimes if enough time passes, tempers will cool, but sometimes that doesn't happen. Look at Israel and Gaza, for instance. I don't know how many are accidents. I didn't read the article completely. Yeah, that's true. 381.
All right, Freedom Friday. Yeah, this is all about reveling in our great nation and how free we are, still. Free to talk about this. We're not in China. We can still put up a fight. But unfortunately, a lot of you have diverted your attention to mindless thought. Let me grab this for a second. Mindless thought, and I don't really recommend coming in and doing that. We need political questions, not discussions of mindlessness. So.
My name is Sarah, yes. But I'm not, David and I are not married.
Okay. I can certainly understand why Obama said that he has no plan for ISIS, because technically we're shooting our own feet here. ISIS is an operation that was probably originated with the CIA. So I don't really think that he can comment on it because it goes against their grain. They're trying to create the typical environment for war, which they've been doing since Vietnam. And they've been getting away with it because we've never had a political change of guard in our nation since Bobby Kennedy was assassinated. So we would have had some revelation. Had Kennedy won, Bobby Kennedy probably would have given us some revelation as to what Vietnam was all about. But we never even had anybody. We went right into the Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford era, which then transferred to the mindless era of Jimmy Carter. And he didn't really know what to say because he actually joined the Trilateral Commission. He was so completely oblivious to this plan. And I don't think Jimmy Carter's a bad guy. I just think he's completely oblivious to what's happening. No, they cheated. I didn't lose. They cheated. You have a right to come in here, but please don't call me a loser. Thank you. I never conceded. Tricep there's no way the drug cartel would do anything for us. We're not cozy with the drug cartel. They buy off agents, Border Patrol agents, to get their job done. The DEA's got their hands full with those drug cartels, believe me. Well, if he was a terrible peanut farmer, I didn't know. As a peanut farmer, did he have a bad record? I would do a peanut butter face of Jimmy Carter. It would be kind of funny. We could have celebrity videos. I should do various presidents coming up October 31st and just have them come in with various responses. Oh gosh, please. We're going to have to ban you now, 204. I'm sorry. You've had your chance. Yeah. Well, one more chance. Lena Luna says the loser guest coming back with different guest name. Okay, no problem. Maybe David's time to accept collateral damage and nuke Iraq off the map. Triceprod, do you realize the environmental danger that would pose the world? There's so much spent nuclear material in Iraq simply from the bullets, the 50 caliber bullets that had uranium in them. During Iraq's war, Gulf War I and II, the uranium that we dispensed there was put in bullets, believe it or not. It's a known fact. So nuking it would probably spray bullets all around the world that have uranium tips. So, I mean, I don't think there's a good move there to carpet bomb a nation that has 27 million people living right near Baghdad. It's probably 35 million people in the country. I don't think that alone is open to discussion right now. Let's do everything but carpet bomb or nuke the nation, all right? We have a lot of good ideas, like our weapons-free safe zone idea we have on our website. That's my idea. This will solve the problem long term, but right now you've got a little storm of controversy over this hotspot that's occurred because of the rebel Sunni ISIS-led group. Again, we're going to have to, we've given you every opportunity to retain your freedom of speech, but you're now banned because of your behavior here. Oh, sorry, 595. I didn't mean to ban you too. I'm not sure. Were you tracking 595's comments?
No.
Okay, well, you were banned because you weren't making enough comments that were intelligent.
You were making comments. I just wasn't tracking them.
I'm sorry you're banned. Please come in as another guest. Well, it's not our gas, guest 818. You guys have been led down the belief that Iraq was some sort of a bastion of our oil. Honestly, no oil from Iraq has been sold to the U.S.
I think so, guest 209. I don't know. I don't go into the show, but yes, this is America's third party.
Send a squad of Anderson Coopers. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Anderson Cooper 360. Okay, your AC 320s, right? Big difference. Sending a squad of Anderson Coopers would be like, hey, you guys, clean up your act. We're going to shoot you. Yeah, I understand. You got AC 320 possibility there, buddy. All right, yeah, we're going to talk about the situation without fanning the flame of fear, which I think David Cameron already achieved and Barack Obama achieved when he said he doesn't have a plan or a strategy for ISIS. It's kind of ironic. Here I am sitting on all these strategies on our website for the past 6 years to solve the problem in Iraq, and we left them up there so that all of you can look at it. And Obama doesn't have a plan. So many of you are still clinging to the belief that this president of 6 years now, who doesn't have a plan to do much of anything, no new original ideas, is somehow going to lead us out of the hellhole that the European Union is taking us into. Wow. Yeah, I'm beginning to rethink everything, especially not necessarily our allies like NATO, but just the way the monetary leaders of the world are trying to pull our strings. It's time to snip a few of those strings and get more of a strategic policy going, and I think I could help because I have a high IQ and I can solve the problem in the region without having to create more internal crises like the civil war that's brewing in Iraq. David, how about we drop? No, you see, that's the thing. The ISIS camps now have had time to embed with families. They probably have a couple kids in their little ISIS force, you know, living with the mercenaries.
Sarah's making the face of I've got to go eat dinner and
have dinner, take a nap, take a break. There's some bean burritos in the freezer that you can microwave.
I've got dinner.
Okay. We picked up a couple of bean burritos for 25 cents a piece. I couldn't spare the opportunity to buy something like that for 25 cents. I know. I mean, the simplest thing is like a 25-cent bean burrito. I have some bean burritos in the microwave. No, of course not. I don't expect that, guest 752. If she wants to pay, she can. It's called contribution. I'm not regretting anything later. Everything's all good. Oh, you're talking about the aftermath of the bean burrito? You bought them for 15 cents, Mad Dog? Man, you get better deals out there in the South. I don't know. I was looking at the bean burrito recipe. It looked like soybeans to me. Al-Qaeda expelled ISIS. Oh, yeah. Meow TV is one of these guys that really thinks he's figured it all out. Yeah. You still think ISIS is this horrible terrorist group of jihadists trying to create a caliphate. Basically, Meow TV reads all of the propaganda from the CIA on CNN News, CIA News, and he believes everything he sees. Do you have a single filter, Meow TV, to determine maybe some of it might be disinformation? Wait a second. I'm not allowed to use the quotes. Rodney told me that was, yeah, it's gay, buddy. I wouldn't want it to sound gay. Dave may have a high IQ, but he wasted developing a number of personality disorders instead of becoming a productive member of society. Personality disorders? Exactly what are my personality disorders, Mr. Non-Psychologist? No, I have not considered stand-up Lena Luna. In case you didn't know, we just lost one of the greatest stand-up comedians in human history, Robin Williams. What many people don't know is the stand-up comedic act that he had, and I got a chance to see Robin Williams in '75 before he became famous. That was basically a huge cover for a tremendously unhappy life. I don't come to the table with unhappiness. I'm internally at peace with myself and have attained higher wisdom through Eastern philosophy. I do not do these imitations because I need to get attention. I do them to relay points. Like when talking about what happened with Vietnam, I would mention offhandedly Richard Nixon in a voice that sounds like Richard Nixon, or talk about Henry Kissinger in a voice that sounds like Henry Kissinger. So I'm trying to use imitation as a way of helping you understand what's happening in the world. If this was cover for a personality disorder, it would not be good, because it leads to obvious depression, which allegedly killed himself with it. Come on, seriously? If you believe that, you'll believe anything. I am a martial artist. It's not self-love. No. I don't demonstrate high levels of paranoia at all. None. You'd ask my neighbors. I frequently walk outside my house in plain view, sniper view, from any known location around my location, wherever my location is. I have no fear. And that would imply I'm not paranoid. Hello there, Pamela. Good evening and welcome to the show. We're going to talk kind of like the voice of Coast to Coast. That guy gets really deep. Yeah, I think they put a sexy voice on that show to keep Art Bell going for a while. I didn't say you were housebound, and why would you have no reason? I have no reason to fear at all. People who are paranoid live in fear. Do some early psych studies. Just take a class in college. Isn't there a local community college you can learn about psychology? Because you clearly don't know diddly squat about psychology. Sorry. No. If I thought it was really important, then I'd probably have a target on my head, and I'd be afraid to go anywhere because I'd be so paranoid that people would be after me. But no, who cares about some guy running for a third party in America where everyone's brainwashed and told that the two parties are going to solve the problems, and you better be sure you vote in the party or you'll be splitting the vote. There's a phone ringing. You see, my atavistic response system is fully functional. Hold on, please. I'm sorry, it's out of reach. But this is a strange day when Cameron is talking about, is it somebody important?
Okay, yeah, anytime. Yeah, tomorrow.
It's the big phone, yeah. Oh, come on. 800? Don't even go there. Well, you guys know everything about my life. I'm the most open, transparent person on the internet, it seems. It's crazy. I'm sure there are other people like me, but if I were paranoid, I wouldn't have cameras all around me watching everything I do. I never did anything like that, Hannah. I told you I dated a Jamaican girl before I met Sarah. That's all I said. And you see what you've done? You've taken your gutter mind and gone deeper into the gutter. You're now like circling the bottom of the barrel looking for any kind of a sex thought you can drum up in your impotent life. And you're probably on Cialis and you still can't, explain why you... Just not working for you, Hannah. I understand.
Well, I will do some of my personal impersonations of various presidents. And I'd like to help by bringing on Ronald Reagan into the show to gain a little normality to our very strange Freedom Friday. Nancy, could you please pass me the Dilaudid? I'm getting my tremors.
This is a political channel, not an insult channel. That's a good point. Dave, you are too easily intimidated when you encounter people smarter than you. A president has to have confidence to deal with those who are more capable. Dude, there's not a lot of people smarter than me, 818. I assure you. My responses are direct, and they may seem defensive because you're attacking me, you freak. Jeez, this is the Nazi, everybody. He keeps coming in here every night. He's addicted to our channel. So I'm not going to talk about him right now. All right, let's talk about things that are on your mind. Like, how are we going to change this vortex of foreign policy that seems to be moving toward war everywhere we turn? If it isn't Ukraine, it's Syria. If it isn't Syria, it's, what's the next step? Iraq, aren't we? Reinvigorated. Okay, very good. Thank you, Alpha Dog. Well, you know, you've been around people from various countries. No, Topper Dan, not so smart. Topper Dan can't understand the simple facts about the failing Keynesian model of our economics that we have today. I've identified the culprit. In Keynesian economics, the biggest problem are liquidity traps. And when you give mortgage-backed securities $65 billion a month, you create a lot of rich liquidity traps that are sitting there sucking us dry. And they're not reinvesting in government operations. God forbid we have government jobs. Barack Obama doesn't believe in that. And what an idiot. When somebody asked him when he was off the teleprompter in 2010, do you believe the government is responsible for creating jobs? He emphatically said, well, make no mistake about it. The government is not responsible for creating jobs. I mean, come on. How are you going to implement an FDR-style New Deal recovery stimulus if you don't start creating jobs or creating the environment for jobs? I mean, hello? Am I from another planet and just happen to be arriving here with a bunch of brainless idiots like Obama who doesn't understand that you've got to create the groundwork for an economic buildup? Production. What a simple concept. So yeah, Topper Dan never understood that. No, not true. And 818, you're becoming a mouthpiece for a moron. Speaking of morons, did you know that the world leaders, the head of the G20, the central bank chairman, and Janet Yellen, all gathered yesterday and I think today in Moron, Wyoming. That's right outside of Jackson Hole. Yeah. Oh, they're really working out all the details in their economic recovery plan, their global expansion plan. I mean, they got nothing more to expand. I got a drink right here. Janet Yellen is basically Yellen, and you know, she's not doing anything. She's basically a female version of Ben Bernanke. I'm of the belief that she might even be cross-dressing. I don't know. I'm getting a little bit of wet under the lip there. I just drank a little coffee. Well, you should try Jackson Hole, and you should go meet Janet Yellen in Moron, Wyoming. And I think you need to go bye-bye with that nasty talk. Yeah, it's just so nasty. Somebody should tell me my face is off camera. Thanks. I don't know how I got so close. Let me see if I can zoom back a little bit. No. There we go. It's Freedom Friday. Help me, help me. This is how a president acts? Taco Kitten. What are we going to do with you, Taco Kitten? So this is how a president's supposed to act. You know, I support Israel as an ally, Taco Kitten. I understand where you're coming from. But I don't want them to have reckless abuse of human rights and kill little children, like the recent air raids killed over 560 kids. David, why are you a man of Christ? I was baptized Catholic, which incidentally was the church that brought Christ to you. I have to remind that to all the Christians that come in our room. Iron my forehead. Well, those lines are from people going, you gotta be kidding me, all my life. I can't control them, and if I had Botox, they'd pull apart. And you gotta be kidding me, they'd still be there. You know, I could pull them apart. It's like a muscle in my head. You can see my third eye. It's forming. Yeah, these aren't just brows, dude. These aren't just brows, bro. This is like a third eye. It's communicating to you. It's get your act together. All right. Praise you. Bless you. Thank you for coming in and choosing America's Third Party as your visiting stop on your journey through happiness in the entertainment world. I'm going to check the news in just a second. But freedom is probably one of the few things in America that is most acute and serious to American people. We really care about what our freedoms are. And the reason why we established this country was so that no one would tread on us. And the fact is, people are treading on us. We've got illegal aliens pouring over our border right now, which is in many ways denying us our services. We've got a government that is looking into our privacy. In fact, the Border Patrol, they don't bother asking questions to people coming over the border. They've got an open border policy if you're an illegal alien, but if you go over the border and you're from if you're from America, you're harassed. You are. You are harassed big time. There are people that are constantly being harassed at the border. It's terrible. Yeah, I don't even travel over to Canada because of the harassment that I would endure just going over there. A lot of people in this country don't even leave our country because the Border Patrol are tougher on people at the border than U.S. citizens than non-U.S. citizens. Okay. I don't have that video for you, but that's okay. And I don't like what the TSA is doing.
I'm not letting them fill me up as a condition to get on the plane. I'll turn around and walk out of here.
Remember this?
California man's video of his experience going through airport security over the weekend has gone viral. It's also highlighted an ongoing debate over security standards and privacy concerns. John Tyner opted not to go through a body scanning machine like this one.
Check it out.
He was told he would have to undergo a pat-down search.
We can do that out here, but if you touch my junk, I'm going to have you arrested.
Yeah. There you have it.
The Transportation Security Administration recently changed the way screeners conduct pat-downs. Agents now use the front of their hands rather than the back. They also run their hands up the inside of the passenger's legs. It was that intimate screening method that got Tynan riled up.
Now, I don't understand how a sexual assault can be made a condition of employment.
This is not considered sexual.
It would be if you were at the government.
Tyner is not alone. A group called Flyers Rights is organizing a petition against the enhanced scanners and pat-downs. Another group is urging people to join a mass opt-out of scanners the day before Thanksgiving.
Well, I don't like the invasion of privacy, but we live in a different age now when there are people trying to figure out all kinds of ways to kill us.
It's an infringement on my privacy. I don't need somebody to look at me naked just to go on a flight.
They in no way resemble electronic strip searches. All they do is ping in a private area away from the gate with an image that is neither retained nor transmitted.
Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano defended the modified pat-downs and body scanners.
And if there are adjustments we need to make to these procedures as we move forward, we have an open ear. We will listen.
As for Tyner, he continued to refuse the pat-down. He got his ticket refunded by the airline and did not fly. Matt Friedman, The Associated Press.
Okay. Okay, we'll put that over there as something to talk about, and I'll uncheck a lot of these things. I'm bringing them in. I'd like to talk about what the government has been doing over the past 50 years, and most people don't realize that we're not running late this evening, but you are, 241. We've expected you in earlier. I was always here at the beginning. Where were you? Yeah, don't even go there. I'm always on time, always. I've never not been on time. But I don't want to go through what this guy's going through, having his junk checked out. I mean, I have not flown since 2000. You too? Wow. Is that because you don't have any money, or because you don't like airplanes, or dangerous? I just don't want my biggest concern is I don't want my body assaulted. I'm a very private guy, and this is abhorrent to me. The idea of somebody reaching in my pants and touching my, private parts. I was not late, no. I don't know what the guy, the officer at the TSA, they're not trained very well, but they do have an appetite for reaching into people's pantses, and often I've heard, in one case, they'll say to a woman, if she really looks good naked under that rapid scanner, to come on in, could you do it again, ma'am? That's a common expression. Could you go through the rapid scanner again, ma'am? Kind of like the Rodney laugh, you know. Hey, you're looking good. I mean, I'm not going to show you any naked pictures here, but they have full view, and they could even go in color mode of your genitalia. Ding, 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 ding. Wake up call. I don't want to, you know, I don't like going to the public showers, dropping the soap. The whole thing is abhorrent to me. And they have smelly hands, 807. Have you been smelling TSA hands? That sounds like a weird, odd fetish on the internet. TSA smeller? Google that. See what happens. They should be arrested for that. And the fact is, these are abridgments of our freedom. I'm going to segue from here to Ferguson in just a bit. So all of you who are still going outraged at the death of an innocent, well, he was stealing something, young man who was unarmed. That'll get a firestorm of discussion going in a second. But right now we want to talk about these agents who are not even trained police officers, are pushing people around, reaching at a woman's breasts. I think there's a lawsuit, a class action lawsuit, 5 women over 80. Most of them from New York, feeling very verklempt when their breasts were lifted up and their pacemaker was revealed, and one of them had to drain a colostomy bag right there in front of the TSA. Well, let's be clear. I don't have a strategy for ISIS. But I do have a strategy for sissies. Like General Sissi, after killing over 800 people in Egypt. Now, a good guy. One of our friends. This was a major achievement, and I'm sorry about the civil war that's brewing in Egypt too. I mean, can you believe what's happening here? It's almost as if there's an attack on our show every night. And people don't want to hear what I have to say because it's so damn truthful. You can't handle the truth. That's what I'm thinking. You are in the midst of a DDoS attack. Well, the next few minutes, this channel will be conducting a test. The test of my ability to ban people in the chat room. We may go to slow mode on because we had a problem with that before. ISIS are attacking us through interwebs. Trisepra, you're again one of those people that really in fear of ISIS. We need to get to the bottom of why these terrorist organizations are getting through the cracks. Now, Chuck Hagel recently, according to Rodney, and I can't verify this yet, but Chuck Hagel said that ISIS is in the United States. Can anyone else verify that? Do you hear the same story that our Secretary of Defense has said that ISIS is somehow embedded here in America now? Oh, Sarkweather, thank you very much for offering me your kind words there and giving me a chance to pay you money. But I think I'm set with my host server. Appreciate it, Sarkweather. I like the way you think there, son. I think you're working on getting more money down the road. Good for you. Renting server space, folks. See what Sarkweather's doing? That's pretty ingenious of him. Type in your weather site. Alpha Dog on Sarkweather. Yep, they're in our sleeping cells. Confirmed possible 9/11 coming. Okay. Guess 438, probably the CIA themselves, here watching our show. Can confirm that Chuck Hagel has said that. And now I'm wondering, maybe they really didn't check the border well enough. Maybe they didn't check enough people wearing burqas coming in our border. You know that you could walk into our border right now through an airport, arrive on a plane in a full burqa, and they can't touch you. It's true. It's one of those things where we are literally, we've built the Department of Homeland Security around such Muslim sympathizers that we literally will not broach their religious privacy to break through and touch their body. But we will with a human being like an American, like this older man here. You can see a close-up of the genitalia region. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a chair there. I thought the guy had some sort of there we go. The chair was in his way. So we're not at war, it's a peacekeeping mission. Hagel's all over the place. Thank you. I don't need to talk about the ISIS flag. A lot of the propaganda that's been generated by the government amounts to CIA false beliefs. This is not something that necessarily is what it seems to be. You may believe it. I'm not saying don't believe it, but I don't believe there's a caliphate forming around the world. I don't believe that there's some sort of a new jihad forming. If anything, it's in the minds of a couple of weird whack jobs somewhere in the middle of the desert. But it's not a concerted effort like they're claiming. I believe it's more of an effort of disinformation to create fear. They got the airport scanners. They've got you believing that this terrible terrorist force is going to come into our country and now is in our country. This is all about fear-mongering, and it's created the climate for their power to be retained. Well, we can't vote for a new party because we're being attacked. You see, they're getting ready, bracing themselves for creating a justification for the two-party system. So during this next period between now and 2016, you're probably going to see a lot of internal battles, if not a major crisis in America. I'm sorry to say, but that's the only way they're going to be able to retain their power in their minds, because they don't want anyone to think that a third party is possible or could provide sanity to this incredibly insane world that we're seeing as a result of the two parties. So I've got a lot of concerns that the CIA directive has been warped at best. At worst, it's been downright evil. Okay, we're going to get out of slow chat and talk normally now. I just had to deal with a barrage of hate. Yeah, I agree with Guest 963. I don't believe ISIS is as big as some make it out to be. Yeah, what we've seen, and I can trace a lot of this to the Daily Mail, all of these stories about how we recently intercepted Lady Al-Qaeda. You probably heard about this, that she was being up for trade. Had we traded her for up in Syria, we could have prevented a chemical weapon attack. We did prevent. They claim that we prevented a chemical weapon attack against adults, an attack that doesn't attack children. I mean, the whole thing is this preposterous story which comes out of the art department of the CIA. It's complete confabulation, and it claims that the beheading of Foley, which many people are questioning if it's a real video because there's no blood in it. You don't cut somebody's neck without seeing blood spurt all over the place. That has created a general belief that disinformation is being cast all over our nation. And speaking of our nation, let me get rid of these. No, I got rid of myself. This is our nation. This is it. Make no mistake about it. You can see the red marks. Those aren't Republican territories. Those are actually the areas that the government actually has control over. And we are ostensibly the government. We are, everybody. We are. So we need to realize that all of this red land could be very advantageous. Not only are they protected lands that the EPA oversees, but it could actually be a wonderful area to create fresh water. That's one of the problems in that area. There's not enough fresh water. So my challenge when I look at this area is, how do we get more fresh water here? Because there's a lot more fresh water back here where we have little pieces of land. But for some reason, there's not a lot of fresh water here. Well, please don't use racial slurs here, but we are going to stop the illegal alien traffic over our border. I'm very upset about what Obama and Bush didn't do. Haruna Yakawa. I don't know, Luca. Is your name Luca? Isn't there a song called My Name's Luca? I think there is. I'd love to get that song. David, I found a video that justifies your blackface video. Well, you don't need to get a video to justify my blackface video. All you need is a copy of the Constitution. You seem like an angry person, David. What makes you think I'm angry, Rational? Is it my body language? Look it, man. I'm not going to allow your Hitlerian garbage here. You've been banned. Guess 2438. Yeah. All right, so the plan that I see is we have a bigger challenge here at home. We got to get our troops home because we got a situation forming right here called a massive drought. Are you with me? It was $100. Excuse me. It was 100 degrees yesterday in Los Angeles, California. I'm not angry with the government. I want to change the government. I want to prevent corruption. Catman Dude says this government don't have the priorities down right. Exactly. And there's no blood here. This is not a video. Well, it is a live video. Yes, actually. We have a broadcast going on Hangout. You guys can't see the screen, but I'm showing a picture of the United States and government property. And most of the property that the U.S. owns, mostly because of the EPA and land acquisitions acquired under Richard Nixon. I am not an idiot. Unfortunately, you are. So I'm going to have to ban you. We are now looking at a need for water. There is a massive amount of water missing from the desert. Yeah. Of course, I want to change the government. I want to get them to do something. So what we created was a concept called a seawater pipeline. Yeah. In 2005, Sarah and I put our ideas together on paper, and we even trademarked a few ideas and put these out there, and we talked about building something like this for nearly 10 years. So we've been working on a concept, and we have oceanpipeline.com. You can find out about it there, where we want to build these desalination systems in the Midwest. And recently, I didn't talk about this last night, but recently we found out that there's a new product called graphene, which we can use to desalinate water rather quickly. Yeah. So we have an anticipated project of bringing fresh water to Central California, right over here, right there, and having a pipeline run from Central California all the way inland, using renewable energy to power it up. Water that is moving from solar energy powered water pumps or windmill powered water pumps. The salt can be used to create concentrated solar collectors. And we can also use the salt in various other ways to build and encase nuclear radiation. Believe it or not, the Yucca Flats facility, which is still waiting to be used, we spent $7 billion on, is right there in the line of the pipeline. The pipeline can run right into it. I'm not like a Jetson character. You're always trying to demean me, and I'm trying to tell you I've got the answers to our problems. And you keep running me down because I am one of the few people that has the intelligence to come up with solutions. You keep calling me some sort of a Jetson character or something. It's amazing. It's as if your first reaction, being you're not as bright as I am, is to attack the messenger or somehow try to make people believe that I'm an idiot. That's your go-to solution, is to call people names. This is why the Democratic Party has become the Democratic Party. Because all you do is name calling. You call people truthers, birthers. Now you're calling me a racist. I never said a racial slur in my life. It's ironic that here I have great ideas and all you can do is just run me down. It's just amazing. You're not a Democrat? Well, you probably are a libtard then, one of those libertarians. Yeah, you can either be a Democrat or a libtard. Most of those people don't want the government to do anything. So when I look at this federal land right here, I say, wow, this is an opportunity to bring water, to bring geography and nexuses of loci of nexuses that people gather together along lines of water and travel. Whatever. This is not Geography 101. They can't implement my ideas. They're too large. They're too broad. I'm running for president simply because I need the political clout to manifest some of these ideas. Now, I'm not going to drain your tax dollars on projects like the Ocean Pipeline Project. It will be funded solely on investment capital through our Renewable Energy Savings Plan. %4 guaranteed fixed rate interest over 5 years. And in this troubled economy, that's going to be a pretty dang good deal for a lot of investors. We're going to see a lot of almost a genuine rush to invest in America again. You're going to see our nation running on investment capital, not borrowed money from the future. You see, the Federal Reserve is meeting in Moron, Wyoming, right over here. Right now, near Jackson Hole, they're meeting in Moron, Wyoming right now to talk about expanding credit even more. So if you don't understand what I'm talking about, please don't come in here and call me a whack job because you just don't get it. We're so beyond name calling at this point. I know, it's somewhere on the map, don't worry. Wyoming still exists. No, we will not lose Alaska. It's a strong part of our plan to bring on new resources. Look at Alaska. I support an oil pipeline through Canada, which should have been built by now. But yeah, we can't just forget that they have one of the most oil-rich lands around. I agree with the Republicans. We need to start building that. We've been wasting our money on fracking when we've got tons of oil in the Purdue Bay area and tons of oil in Alaska. It's ridiculous. So we need to start getting more energy independent. I don't know where California, I grew up in California, you imbecile. I do support fracking, but we don't need to have reckless fracking. I support natural fracking. You know, when the earth cracks, and you've got a massive crack right now in your earth, it opens up a blowhole, kind of like your crack does. And that's called natural fracking. So when you spew out a massive amount of diarrhea, it's no different than the earth. The earth is a renewable resource for oil. The magma itself and the core of the earth is constantly percolating. Our geologists don't even understand this because they don't have the intuitive and logical level of thinking that I have. But obviously, if they found oil at 10,000 feet below the ocean floor, some dinosaur didn't fall down there and somehow denitrify. So the whole oil is dinosaurs idea is about as old as the idea itself. David, don't let the haters get you, man. You're wasting your time. Be positive. I agree, 3308, but many people don't understand that we've got an enemy out there, and they're the Democrats, because they are the reason we've got Obama. And we don't have great ideas like a seawater pipeline, something that could be built across the nation. Now, each one of these modules is actually 11 by 7 feet. It's not like a big deal. They could be put in the middle of the desert, strung along, pipe to pipe, in flexible plastic piping connecting the dots. And you'd have massive amounts of water. From LA to Las Vegas, I can generate 250,000 gallons of fresh water a day. That more than meets the demand and excess demand of Las Vegas, Tucson, Phoenix, and Flagstaff. I mean, what about these ideas don't make any sense? Everybody who likes this says, David, this is great, we need to do this. The oil companies don't want to do this. No. Even though it would help to use oil, we'd be able to produce polycarbonate from oil. All right. Rationale, they cheated. And I'll tell you something, I'm going to ban you. Yeah. For that statement alone, I'm banning Rationale. They cheated in my recent primary, and he's throwing in my face that I didn't win. I mean, the depths of insincerity, the depths of corruption, the lies, the deceit that these people are willing to go to try to impale me politically, it's unbelievable. This is why our nation is in terrible conditions, because of thug politicians like Barack Obama. These are the people that want to get reelected in 2016. No, my seawater project will not. It's completely self-contained. Yeah, there's no need to worry about anything happening like leaking. There's no leaking. It's completely self-contained. I am a genius. And I'm trying to help this nation. But I can't possibly help this nation when all people do is just call my ideas wacky. You know, these are great, solid foundations for population centers to be built. I can't think of a more important thing than fresh water. And what better opportunity for a government to create a project that will solve America's biggest, #1 pressing problem right now, fresh water. I appeal to even Democrats who are so concerned about the environment and haven't seen any results from Hillary or Barack or anybody else. I want to innovate. I want to create solutions to industrial pollution, not just create a cap and trade plan like the Democrats do. I don't believe in that. I think it's a complete joke, in fact, that they want to create a monopoly game that somehow in about 15 years will reduce emissions by 17%. That's their best guess as to how emissions will be reduced. We could do a lot better than that simply by innovating, capping a lot of the industrial polluters, but doing it for free, and building systems that make money from the carbon that's spewing out of their smokestacks. Every single smokestack in America is a potential source of revenue. Every single smokestack in America could very well be a percolator of oil revenue. Seriously, there's carbon going out of these mufflers. In fact, your car, 85% of the gas you put in your car goes out your muffler. In fact, the weight of your car in particulates goes out your muffler every single year. Your muffler spews out the weight of your car. And what we've had so far is this president, all he can do is kick the can. So he's playing a game of kick the can, raising the fiscal debt limit, not doing anything with that money, giving it away to mortgage-backed securities, and we sit here and watch this entire charade go on all over again every single year. That's what I'm talking about, friend of a friend, is a need for new ideas like the Ocean Pipeline Project. All right. We're going to bring in Sarah, and we've got some, I just talked about the seawater pipeline. I thought that was appropriate. And see this federal land that's sitting behind us?
Yeah, most
all
of the
of it
land is federally owned, at least in the western states.
I see this as a tremendous opportunity for our country to actually get ahead of its water problem by using the land that this country has to create a seawater pipeline. So I was simply talking about building seawater pipelines in the areas of the red area and get this thing going. So because the biggest problem in this area is lack of water. You know, makes total sense to me. And our pipeline could generate a lot of revenue from the sale of water.
Great idea, HydroFlow. You could use hydrolysis, even though that does require some electricity.
Well, no, the whole idea of the seawater pipeline creates an environment where we can do hydrolysis. In fact, creating liquid hydrogen is one of the byproducts of the seawater pipeline. The Ocean Pipeline Project has in mind hydrogen production, as well as salt production, as well as solar collectors, which can be used, molten salt can be used to create more steam energy. And we can generate a lot of electricity from this operation. And the seawater pipeline, I have to remind everybody that the seawater pipeline can act as a battery and store energy. This is one of the best products that I could even imagine for the future of our human race that could be exported to areas like Africa and Australia.
The idea is that it won't take a lot of energy to desalinate the water because it'll actually use passive desalination from the energy of the sun.
I'm a nice guy. I'm not Hitler, okay? So don't confuse me with Hitler. Thank you. Yes, I've looked at the cost-benefit analysis of this potential project, and the ratio is immense. There is virtually no energy lost. We don't use fossil fuel to create the seawater pipeline. I'm only using renewable energy systems, water pumps that run on wind power and solar energy. It's completely passive desalination. All of it is. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the whole idea behind it.
But Meow TV, with the production of graphene, we now have the ability to make much more water in each one of these containers. much more water. In fact, the process can go on inside there. We can filter water using graphene technology and produce 10 gallons a day or more per unit. It's just blowing out into a whole new realm because of this brand new technology, the graphene technology. All right. I'm just really sad that a lot of you have lost your way. You don't understand a good idea when you see it. You tend to believe a liar who reads off a teleprompter before you listen to something as amazing as what I'm talking to you about. I mean, it saddens me to think that we've got so many haters that don't even understand the immense depth of these great ideas and how far they can go viral. It just blows my mind that a lot of you are just so myopic, short-sighted, that you don't realize how important these projects that we're talking about are at our website. No, we would never do anything like that. No, I don't support making a purge of any sort. We have a daily purge. It's called flush your toilet.
Cool, Pamela. Have fun with that.
Meow TV, why don't you work on a conversion site? They've got about 500 of them online. Just go there. Would you like me to walk you through the Google search for a conversion chart? Thank you.
Thank you, 241.
Well, I might remind you that Adolf Hitler had a gasification process where he turned carbon or coal into diesel. And it worked on a very large scale, and it worked great. I'm not in any way espousing the ideas of Adolf Hitler or his engineers. I'm just saying a lot of things can be scaled up on a macro level and still turn a profit, especially if they continually make money. Now, all of our ideas at America's Third Party that are represented in our book, Hybrid Capitalism, all get a return on investment immediately. We wrote a book called Hybrid Capitalism, and it's available on sale at our website. I've got 3 copies here. This is number 1, number 2, and number 4, and for a $100 donation, I will send number 4 a signed copy to anyone in the show. The only problem with this copy is it's missing its page numbers, so it makes it very unique. But a $100 donation to our effort here will get you this book, and it's signed. But in the book, we talk about all these solutions that get a return on investment right away for the government, and that's why we created hybrid capitalism. So you didn't have to fear or freak out about some enlarged bureaucracy or a socialist nation. You could simply look at something as a viable business project. Well, that was the one copy that had no page numbers. It was a bad print. Actually is the most unique copy, and it's the number 4 copy. But yeah, that's no page numbers. Kind of cool. It's a scaled-up version of our great ideas to solve America's economic problems, solve America's serious issues with the environment. It solves America's problem with production centers growing and profit centers growing. It addresses the globalization issue that's led us astray. It talks about getting rid of the Federal Reserve and beginning an infrastructure bank that can finance new jobs in America. I mean, I've got all the very well-honed ideas that Sarah and I have put together over the past 6 or 7 years, all in the book. It could be worth millions, exactly. It was a bad print. So guest 607, a $100 donation is not that big of a deal. And Irish Roots, if you continue talking about my wrinkled, furrowed brow and don't realize it's actually the beginning of a third eye, then you're probably going to have to be banned soon. I tried to explain that to you earlier. It's a muscle that was developed for me going all my life because I couldn't believe how stupid people are. I can't control it. It might take on a 3-dimensional shape shortly and start looking like an eye. I'm not a loser. I'm a winner. I don't even want to. I don't want to get rid of it. I like it. I do. And there are other people out there with far worse faces than me. I mean, I can think of countless people. Here's a lady, Kara Kennedy, who passed away. She was my age when she passed away. That was Kara Kennedy. She died of a heart attack. about 2 years ago. I have a lot of other pictures of people with furrowed brows, if you'd like to see them. All right, let's talk about what's on your minds, Sarah. What's going on? Let's go to the news, maybe. Ukraine, praising rebels, Putin toughens the tone on Ukraine. Interesting.
There's supposedly these tanks that are going into Ukraine, and
on vacation, right?
Putin says that they're not Russian. All the Russians say they're not
Ukrainian.
Russian military,
Okay.
But they have done analysis of the videos taken of these tanks. They say there's at least one tank that is definitely Russian military.
Well, it may have been hijacked.
Ukraine says,
Yeah.
I mean, Putin says that they're hijacked from the Ukrainian.
Yeah, they had a lot of Russian tanks and Russian Amtraks, things like that. Sarah is 36. Free bands on Freedom Friday. Yes, we're offering free bands for anybody who'd like to be banned. No charge. It's all free.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I don't believe that we should push the envelope of anger with Putin. I believe that we can be much softer and more diplomatic than Barack Obama's being. Joan Rivers is a sad situation. She's in serious condition. She's in a coma-induced state right now. The doctors are working diligently to keep her alive. Her daughter is extremely distraught.
She went through a cardiac arrest when she was just going through. She went in for some kind of procedure, and then she had a cardiac arrest during the procedure.
Wouldn't surprise me. You know, there's been a target on her head ever since she came out saying that Michelle is a dude. Michelle Obama. She said, what, 2 weeks ago, that it's no big deal, everyone knows Michelle's a guy, and now she's brain dead? Yeah, we said her days were numbered because they don't want anyone to know that Michelle is allegedly a man. They don't want anyone to know that. Is this some sort of a replacement person, Joan Rivers? They've got a carbon copy of her out there? Well, I'm giving them a big mention. Thousands of people in the world right now are dying, and I don't want to forget mentioning them. All of them are suffering. Now, that's one of the reasons why we support Death with Dignity here in Washington. We realize that it's serious when people are in terrible pain, dying, and we need to give people at least options when they're getting close to that terrible time. It's better than suffering. If you've seen anybody suffer in that situation, these thousands of people you said are dying, you want to give them the option of assisted suicide if it comes down to it. At least giving them the option. We don't want to mandate it, of course. Well, thank you. I am a national treasure, and I want all of you to know that I live in constant security heaven. Everything I do is all about my security. I've worked diligently to maintain a strong perimeter around me at all times. Even if I go to Walmart, I look around, make sure there's no potential, mean people around me. But sometimes it happens when somebody's walking.
You find yourself overwhelmed.
I hate it when videos just start when you go to a website. But I have a picture here that'll blow your mind. This is something that's common in America right now, believe it or not. It's a case of absolute insane brutality. Caught on camera. Here it is. Sorry.
A woman with a baseball bat at a local Walmart store. 4029's Brett Rains shows us the attack caught on camera. Police say that's 25-year-old Corey Mosley. You can see walking through the Walmart on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith carrying an aluminum baseball bat. Then Mosley spots an 18-year-old female alone looking at CDs. You can see what happens next.
It's a miracle the young lady, was not very, very seriously hurt.
Police say it was a random attack.
There's no patterns. There's no prior relationships.
Makes no sense at all. Please limit your slurs. Thanks. So we have to get a handle on our security as a nation. We've got a lot of problems here.
Surprisingly, she was okay.
Okay.
I think she was rushed to the hospital, but...
Folks, we've got a person who's posted in here, Old Fister. They riot on the British streets. They're burning down our land, but the fools in government put money in their hands, give them money, give them jobs, ignore the British whites. We won't stand for it and watch our land be taken without a fight. Thank you. Welcome to the show, Old Fister. Yeah. Hey, I see you guys post in our show because we have a few viewers. I appreciate you mentioning stuff like that. There's a video about what's going on in England right now. Okay, thanks for that video. I'll take a look at that tonight. Thanks. Yeah, folks, this is happening in England, happening in America. Our immigration laws are similar. We're allowing illegals to come into our country and randomly attack people. It's happening. You know that Phoenix is the second largest capital of kidnapping in the world? That people are being held by coyotes and their fingers are being snipped off and sent to their family members to get more money out of them? This is happening in America right now. You guys have similar problems in England and Ireland. You got a lot of issues that are very similar to ours. And it's one of the reasons why our nation separated from England is because you people wanted to stop freedom of religion and freedom of speech. And we in America, thankfully, have protection in this area. And we can even talk about the anger we have for people who are doing something. If they happen to be African American, we can at least talk about it. But in your country, if you call a Pakistan person a Paki, you get arrested. See, we want an open dialogue because the only way to get rid of problems is to openly communicate about them. And like what you're doing in our chat room, actually. Well, we don't need to kill innocent people or even not so innocent people that are unarmed. I think the police brutality charges in Ferguson need to be levied against the Ferguson police, and we need to see anybody removed from the force who does something like that. No funding. No federal funding for municipalities that have people that are on the force committing brutality charges or acts. That's what I would like to do. Thank you. Well, don't talk about nonsense, Hannah. Talk about politics. You'll be fine. Thank you. No, that's okay, Big Mystery. I appreciate you liking the show. And you guys, I understand a lot of you trolled the show in the past and kind of like listen to what I'm saying. I'm going to let Sarah talk for a while because she's got a wonderful, personality, and I think you'll get a chance to meet her and find out how different she is from me, because it's a good thing we have these different personalities in the show, I think. I'm going to step out back this way. Or actually, I'll go this way. I'll be right back. No, I did open a way of getting in over there.
That's cool. So, Watson Chef, master cooks have created a tasty some new dishes like a Vietnamese apple kebab and other novel dishes. Yes, that is a possibility as well, too, Meow TV 2. Because you're right about all of the sewer systems. The only problem with that, Meow TV 2, is you would have to do it only for new construction, because currently, it would have to be routed only to toilets, rather than, whereas usually in a household construction, when you bring in the water, it goes to all of the different pipes, from the, not just the toilets, but the showers. Showers could be salt water too. I don't see a reason to have how that would be that big of a problem. So it would have to, but you would need to also bring in some fresh water and possibly make sure that water is going into, when it goes into a filtration system. But ironically, that a lot of the piping in homes these days is out of PVC piping, and so that PVC piping, that would not be the issue if you wanted to make everything saltwater. The big issue would be, when do you bring in a freshwater feed as well? Because of course, you know, people can't drink the salt water, but it could be, you know, you could use salt water to wash dishes with, to shower with, to do toiletries. So a lot of different things could be used from salt water directly, and that would cut down on the amount of fresh water that would be necessary. The piping outside the house with the hole in the walls, Brazil style. Oh, like bring it in from outside. That's an interesting idea. The Earth is overpopulated, you think, and the shortage and future disappearance of fresh water is the planet's natural immune system to destroy the threat. But you know, the big issue is we have plenty of water for even greater populations than we currently have. It's just that the water is not drinkable, and people pollute the water that is drinkable. It does depend on how much salt there is. That's true, Graybeard. Did you guys hear about the new filter system that is created? It's actually called a graphene filter, and it's created by Lockheed Martin. And that system may even either lower the necessity for an ocean pipeline or eliminate it completely, because it actually, instead of doing desalination where you heat the water to get rid of the salt, it actually is a material that's dense enough to actually take out the salt. It's pretty interesting. It's porous enough to let pure water flow through, but dense enough to take out salt. It's amazing. You wish that somebody could make leftovers as a source of fuel? Well, you can take leftovers and make them into compost, and then if you have a methane generator on your compost pile, then you can turn that into methane, which would be a source of fuel. So it is possible. Why don't you take care of that and start with yourself, Graybeard? I mean, I just don't think that, you know, we need to talk about depopulation or anything like that unless people are willing to take the plunge themselves. I don't think so. Nothing preventing you from using your own hydrolysis system of that free water to generate electricity or water by yourself. Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. You've been near some lakes and you don't know what they split. Oh, the lake smelled like sour droppings. They spilt in that lake. So it could have been, if it were a lake that was contaminated by, say, liquid natural gas or some kind of fracking, I could see how that could have a sour smell to it. Yes, thank you, Porphyrin. It is pretty cool that that Lockheed Martin filtration system that they've already done as well. It's not that it scares me, Vorpal Bite. I would say if people want to go down that route, they can start by not having children themselves, or, you know, something of that. Yes, exactly, MeowTV2. Now you're talking. That's the way to do it. I think it would be really great to incorporate the seawater pipeline and the maglev rail. Yeah, Graybeard Shaman, you do have a point there. Or we could help by not having any children. Sometimes I eat Is that a trick question, Maureen? Yes, sometimes I eat Pringle chips, but very, very, very rarely. Maybe like once a year. I didn't realize they have MSG in them. Maybe I'll stop. I won't eat them. I don't eat them on a regular basis.
Are you going down to the festival?
I don't know. Are you?
What time is it?
I don't. I have that paperwork.
Is he on at 9? Are they on at 9?
I have paperwork in the other room.
Well, at 9 we'll decide.
Yeah, we could decide then. All right, but yeah, that sounds like a plan to me. Been there, done that, check. Don't. But okay, sorry, Graybeard, but yes, if everyone decides to stop having children, then there would be less population eventually, but it would take a while for that to happen. I do not understand. I do eat vegetables. I usually, though, eat like pastas and rice dishes, so that was good. Go ahead and educate me into what I should understand Vorpal Bite 2. Or is it kind of like Buck Wiles? Is about me escaping their plot? If we're talking about depopulation, I said I don't believe in depopulation of taking people out, or I don't believe in that people should be hurting each other. Vorpal White. But there are people in this room that were promoting depopulation. Most people talk about depopulation, myself included, and saying, I don't understand why people even want to have or the elites even want to have a depopulation issue. It is, but I've read a little bit about the Agenda 21, and to me it was written by someone who was naive and felt that in order to help the planet, that lower population in the future would help the planet. I have this very small basis of it, because the thing is, my soil is really, really, really terrible. It's just, I'm surprised that I can even grow grass in my soil, because it's funny, it's like clay and really wet during the winter, and then it turns into this hard concrete in the summer. Wow. 50 miles from Port Dover? No, that's not David's secret plan. That's not it at all, 305. Well, I think that the world can, like David says, the world can support even more population. At the same time, I'm choosing to not have children. You think population has finally started to be sustaining itself? Because for a while it was growing hugely. Okay, what say I about the welfare state? I love this topic. Thank you, 37437. I personally believe in a baseline plus system. I believe in changing the welfare system so that we give people an opportunity to build up housing. That's one of the things that I would like to do, where we support what's called a homestead renewal plan. have I considered buying soil or stocking up on it, using that soil? And yes, I have considered doing some square gardening like that. So anyway, with the system, I believe in giving people the opportunity to make their own way in life by building up housing, because I believe really housing is landlord's way of keeping people down, and I think that housing is one of the most expensive costs for people that are working as well. There's even a documentary about the misinformation of population. Interesting, Luca. No, it's not a constitutional right, but neither is welfare, and we have a welfare system, Vorpal Bite. What is your solution to welfare? Do you think we should just cut off all welfare completely? Yeah, sometimes I think that's what they're doing, A3253. They're training people to think of FEMA camps as a refuge. But I really think that we need to focus on water, food, housing, and healthcare. Wow. Wow, Vorpal. I really care more about people than that. And I personally think 1718, I think some people are going to work and some people, I don't necessarily think that there is enough employment out there for everyone to make everyone work. I think that if you made everyone work, and you said, oh, everyone has to work for the man or whatever, that you're not, if you even provided jobs, you wouldn't have people actually working. You'd have a lot of people sitting around and not working. You believe welfare keeps us from being a third world country by taking care of each other, whereas other people, it would be like there would be severe poverty on the street if there wasn't welfare. Yeah, a lot of poor jobs don't pay much, exactly, and then people have to pay rent and utilities and for food and all of those things from that little bit of money. So if the companies would come back to the USA, a lot of the welfare systems wouldn't have to support as many. Some just refuse to work, others would love to. Yet, how are you going to draw the companies back to the USA without creating a corporate welfare system? That's a good idea, 2360. Encourage people to grow their own food. Yes. And, and I say one of the things with, yes, it has exactly 87743. Yes, but ironically, with the welfare system, it's created strife between the lower classes rather than creating a revolutionary class. It keeps the people fighting amongst the poor people fighting against the people that are very poor, either way. So rather than both of them fighting against the people that are super rich. Fix the insane tax system we are in. Welfare is good, yet it's bad. I definitely agree with that, Harvick fan. I think that we could lower taxes. Of course, then people will say, oh, Sarah, you advocate for something like a homestead renewal plan, and yet I advocate lowering taxes. I think that the two don't have to be mutually exclusive. I don't necessarily believe in taking from the wealthy to support the poorer people. I do believe in taking some of this red federal land and creating actual physical structures, housing that people can live in. But I don't believe in doing it like they did in Detroit in the past with the ghettos, because I mean they did create these incredible apartment buildings and they gave them to people. What I personally believe in is saying, okay, you want housing, you're going to have to come and learn how to build up a house. You're going to have to work with a construction worker, work with a carpenter, and you're going to have to build some walls. You're going to have to paint. You're going to have to do roofing and actually teach people to build a house that they can then live in. Because really, when it comes to housing, it's about the actual material. When I think of resource-based economy, I think of we have the resources to provide for the people, and that's not about necessarily taking away from the rich. And I don't believe that we should take from the rich just to give to the poor. I think that we should give. No, it's not involuntary servitude. It is, you may say it's servitude, but people will be volunteering for this opportunity. If you want a house and you want to, then you can come in and you can work in this house. You want welfare? Well, we have this house that you can build up. What if you can't work then that? If you're completely disabled and can't move your arms and legs, then that would be a waiver for that. I don't believe in doing that, Orpal. I believe in our humanity is of a higher nature than to hurt people because they don't have money. Yes, their immigration is definitely a big problem, and what I believe that we should do with immigration is we should have our Border Patrol agents serve as federal judges and only hear border cases, but they should actually be deputized as federal judges. The reason that I believe this is because part of this border issue got worse. Not that it wasn't there before, but it actually increased recently with the Supreme Court ruling that said anyone on U.S. soil has a right to due process. That is actually a constitutional right, and people can say it applies. It does not only apply to U.S. citizens. It is anyone on U.S. soil. They have the right to due process. And so with due process, that is that you have the right to a trial. And so the big issue is that all of our court systems are being backed up because the people that come over our border illegally, they have a right to go before court and explain why they're coming into our country illegally, and they can even plead that they are not guilty, etc. And so the way to speed up that process is by having more judges. Thank you, 2014. Okay. Well, I think, Harvick, that it's people like you that you work so hard for your living. You're not taking help from anyone, but I really admire people like that. No, Night Fox, I never did any drugs. Yeah. Exactly. It's all about. But I understand that some people, they need some help. I think that some people do make poor decisions in life, And some people, children, it's not their fault that their parents made poor decisions for them. But I really feel that I would love to give people the opportunity. That's why I talk about the opportunity of a homestead renewal plan, because I know people that work their whole life, refuse to take any welfare handouts, but never have the idea, never have the hope of home ownership. And I would love to give those people the opportunity to build up a house that they can then live in. And then they would save some of the money that they're actually making at their jobs, because their housing costs are huge. No problem, Abnormal. You can definitely be grumpy. And I'm trying actually, Vorpal Bite, with my idea to have people take responsibilities. Okay, whether it be the state or federal 877, right now the federal government has Section 8 housing subsidies that they're giving to, basically, to subsidize landlords. Well, I'm glad you're a good guest, 354. Oh, hello, Mr. Zaga. I'm doing pretty well tonight. Yeah, some people do call for conflict, and they sometimes tend to get it.
Okay. Pull the federal land thing off. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in, Sarah, and filling in for me. Federal government has overreached. Let's return to the Constitution. I agree. Yeah. I side with a lot of constitutionalists on that issue.
Well, the thing is 8325, they're talking about where does the money come from? If poor people are getting extra money is it coming from the government? And if it's coming from the government, where is that money coming from? Is it coming from taxpayers? And that's the big issue with that. Hi, Sansar.
Hi, Abnormal. I never high. What do you mean 2014? It's an accusation that you're claiming that I get a high on the show, and I'm not high now? What are you basing your belief on? So if we cut off welfare, we'll be able to split up between us? Split it up? No, we're not going to cut off all welfare. Obviously, people need welfare checks. One of my modifications to the welfare crisis is anyone with a top check at that household would get their check. Everyone else wouldn't get their check.
We'll be on for 1 hour for another 69 minutes. Abnormal.
Thanks, Catman, dude. Yeah.
So walk
free.
fast.
We've got a lot of time to spare here. We've got about 70 minutes to blow. Talk about whatever you want. Yeah. We're here because we enjoy being here and chatting with everybody. So it's not like a big drain on us to do a show, although it is pretty amazing. We've done over 1,750 shows, 3 hours in length, 6 years of shows. It's kind of amazing. But you never get bored because there's always new chat and new chatters. But we do like supporters, and we know that a lot of people come back and watch our show because they kind of need an injection of honesty and decency into their hope that maybe someday politicians might be good people and solve problems. It's total dedication, yeah. And we've never made a single penny profit from anything we do here. Yes, I believe in the Full Disclosure Project 373. We believe that if there's any information out there about alien visitation, the American people have a right to know. We deserve to know, and I will tell people what I know as president. Thank you. That was easy. I won your vote on the Full Disclosure Project. Good. Well, we got a lot of work to do, and the two parties have done very little. They get away with not doing any job, really. They just vote themselves into office and pretend like there's a difference between the two of them. The big job of the Republicans is to convince their supporters that they're not Democrats. The big job of the Democrats is to convince their supporters they're not Republicans. But that's not solving problems. That's just making people point fingers at each other. So we need to get to the issues. And every time I approach the issues, the media doesn't want to cover my discussion.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
No, not true. In fact, this kids site is all we can do because of the oppressive conspiracy, if you will, against any third party. We absolutely have to broadcast on a medium that many people talk about, and younger people will be voters. So we started in a venue called Blog TV for 4 years of the 6 years we've been doing this. And I have to do this. We have no other choice. Plus, we're broadcasting on Ustream, which if you guys are running a tablet, you can pick us up there. And we're on BattleCam right now and on JustCast. And we're also broadcasting a Google Hangout. You can watch the whole thing in repeat. Every show is completely all live and interactive. We're going to add more interesting visuals to the Hangout pretty soon, but right now we're still just lingering in 2 people talking on the show for 3 hours. But we're working on it.
And you still can't spell laugh. L-A-U-G-H.
Yeah. We live in a viral world, and many people don't realize. Mr. Zog says, David, you're far more forward-thinking and intelligent than most top politicians. I wish you were a real politician. But you saw what happened when I tried to become a real politician. They conspired and cheated against me, stole most of my signs in the primary recently. So there's no place for an honest man among a corrupt two-party system. I'm telling you, we need a third party, and it's up to you guys if you want to make this go viral. You have to promote us.
David to be a real politician.
You have to promote us if you want us to get bigger and grow. You could donate to us by going to our website and donating. I know, Luca, but the media has kept me from getting my word out. That's for me. Okay. Did you press 1?
I didn't yet.
Well, goodbye.
All right. Well, you have to press 1 right away to get it. Well, yeah, Ron Paul had an opportunity to go third party, and he didn't do it. He fell in line with the Republicans, which makes me wonder about the Paul family. I don't really trust these Republicans, and I don't trust the Democrats either anymore. I'm seeing corruption endemic in the system. Sorry, Rod, we missed your call. Yeah. John Lennon once said, when a teacher asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up, happy, the teacher said he didn't understand the assignment. He said she didn't understand life. That is deep crap. Yeah, happiness is really your #1 achievement in life. If you can attain it, actually health is priority #1. You can't have happiness unless you have health. So health is everything, and then I think happiness is a close second. He would have been a real divider if he'd just gone and created a third party. It would have been better for the advancement of a third party, but Ron Paul didn't take up the opportunity of doing that.
Yeah, there was a group that was bidding on the ballot last year, and they were just waiting for a candidate, and you know, Ron Paul didn't say anything positive, didn't say anything about it, and then somehow it got word spread among his supporters to not support him on there, and anyway.
Again, I support a mix of conventional support. I support, to a certain extent, mass agriculture, but I don't support a reckless use of pesticides and herbicides and chemical fertilizers. This is how I'm a centrist. I'm trying to explain that to you. The Nazi comes in here with all this garbage all the time. We are very pragmatic people. I do consider myself an idealist, but only because I like to talk about things in a better way. I like to look toward an optimistic viewpoint as opposed to a pessimistic viewpoint. But pragmatism is always at the root of what I'm trying to do. So when I talk about dealing with the oil crisis or oil companies and wanting them to be transparent and open, I will put them in front of C-SPAN. I'm not going to say I'm going to do it. I'm going to put them in front of C-SPAN. We're going to talk to them directly, openly, not privately like Obama did. And I will work with the oil companies to better improve our energy independence and build up our storage of oil. Our proven reserves are there, but we also have vital reserves that could be enlarged. Strategic reserves that could be enlarged. I just don't believe that you could just say, oh, get rid of oil companies, everything will be great. You can't do that. Wintard will have the coffee venue outside in the main lobby, and will be able to offer a cappuccino or anything she wants to make people as a celebrity guest greeter at the White House. I'm not invested in oil. No, I have no, you didn't find my SEC reports. I have no investments in oil. Your seniors, Trip knows. Well, one of the things I want to do is give you the ability to buy generic pharmaceuticals and also purchase things like pharmaceuticals from Canada with no questions asked. I want to lower the cost of pharmaceuticals. I want the government to get involved in making generic pharmaceuticals. Look, we're not going anywhere with this guy accusing me of things here. I'll try to work on getting any perks removed from the oil companies at large. I don't want them to have perks. I do not support the idea of any oil company not paying taxes. So the idea that ExxonMobil didn't pay taxes in 2009, 2010, I mean, it's crazy. I don't support earned or the idea of green energy tax credits for oil companies. I think that was a big George W. Bush thing that became a bonanza for a lot of big, huge oil people and windmill people like T. Boone Pickens. Yeah, it's a narcotic. Some things obviously have to have prescriptions, but we need to make more things available, especially antibiotics. I find that the whole cartel that the doctors have over antibiotics is ridiculous. No, I don't plan on taking the Mensa IQ exam. They require a fee. Anyways, generic pharmaceuticals could immediately appease a large group of older people who don't have enough money for their blood pressure medication. So you can imagine a bottle of $160 for blood pressure medication per month being dropped to like $30. I'm not an honorary member of Mensa. We need to purge our government from the rats. Okay, well, we've got tons of rat poison. It's in our water supply. They're already using rat poison in the municipal water supply in America. Fluoride. Yeah, you're already getting poisoned. So what are you talking about? No, not really. 134. The vote lost. People that come in here and deserve banning aren't going to vote at all. They're usually just reprobates sitting in their mom's basement, smoking dope that they bought with money out of her purse. I mean, I don't really seriously consider them a viable voter. Yes, you can trust me to not get fellatio in the Oval Office. I will only, I will be in the Oval Office with cameras on. I'm going to put a chat room in the Oval Office, and there's going to be a camera underneath the desk, too, on a remote view. So you won't see anybody hanging out down there ready to give me Bebos. Remember that scene from American Idol? Bebos for you, Simon! Well, what was that all about? Bebos for you, Simon. Never could have. Fantasia said that. Right when she won, she's like, Bebos for you, Simon.
Bobos.
Bobos for you. I mean, what is that? Bobos for you, Simon. That was her. That's a direct quote. Poor Fantasia. She suffered a suicidal issue. No, I can't explain anything you say. I didn't speak at Arizona State, you idiot. God. And you can't post links in here anyway, guest 214. Get an account. Just call it the Nazi. I'm sure it's not taken. You're the only one who will ever... No, I didn't talk at Arizona State University. Guess 116 has a question about the Oval Office. Feel free to pipe up. Yeah, there's going to be a camera underneath the desk, of course. Everything will be above board. Well, let's be clear. It might be kind of boring for you because, you know, all you're going to get is a chat, 1 hour chat with the President of the United States on issues of the day. You may want to see some live sex act, but you could always go to a porn show for that. I really don't want to turn the White House into what Clinton made it. What makes you think that would even go on? Dave, tell us about all the time that you and Sarah did a...
That never happened.
Never happened.
I think you're mistaking. You think I'm Laura Bush or something?
Yeah, I'm not Laura. I'm not George W. And that was Laura, and that was 1963, I believe. Bad things happen to people that are, you know, in front of a car.
I don't. We're not in California, so how much is California's new gasoline tax?
Yeah, tell me about California's new gasoline tax. I heard that the dictator Jerry Brown was trying to promote that. I'm sorry, did I say dictator? I meant governor. Clinton did a lot of good. He dirtied Monica Lewinsky's dress so that it became a national treasure. Think of all the other good things that he did. Hey, Dave. We have a copy of that dress, but I won't show it because there's ladies present.
Well,
over $5 a gallon. Really, it's $1.10 a gallon.
I'll be back.
You got to be kidding me. Thank you, sir. Yeah, take another break. Watch some shows. I'm in the driver's seat now. I'm good at this. You read the state of Washington is heavily taxing press-on veneers. Well, I'm going to have my new look pretty soon. Don't worry. Yeah, Clinton did succeed due to the removed URL bubble. I know. I noticed that his removed URL bubble really worked for the... he balanced the books with the Social Security Trust Fund and pretended like he got rid of the deficit. Anyways, Bill Clinton was a total schmoozer and is, to this day, in retrospect, a president that, I don't know, he had a lot of good intentions, but he couldn't implement it. And if that's true with every president, I'm in for a real uphill battle because I don't want to go down in history as anything like Clinton. I don't want to ever stain the executive branch like he stained Monica Lewinsky's dress. Yeah, it's not unlike Rodney to diss me, Trip Nose. That's why we don't have him in our show. You noticed we didn't accept his phone call. I love you, David. You were dissing me, Rodney. You know full well you do that on a daily basis. Why don't you just come clean with your whole deal, your spiel? Tell people who's really financing your little attack on our show, Rodney. Just speak the truth and talk to people as if they really, because they seriously sense that you've got some ulterior motive here. Laugh, folks. This guy is funny. Come on. Hurry up. Laugh. Hurry up. There's an order. I'm so glad I'm not friendly with a lot of Democrats anymore in my area. They called me out on this thing, claiming I'm a racist because I parodied the president in blackface. And it shows me the level of un-Americanism among the Democrats in my area. They don't even understand what America was founded on, freedom of speech. They want to deny me my right to freely parody the president. How else was I going to do it? In whiteface? I mean, how absurd. Trip Nose. Oh, you were as Mr. Zog at the time? Okay. What's the advice, Nazy? How's the oil company profiting after everything? I'm sure. The California gas tax is ridiculous. $1 a gallon is absurd. I know. Nobody can afford to even run a gas station. Their profit margin is so small. Yes, there are more than one Bishes. 2 birds in the hand is worth 1 in the Bish. No, there's a couple of impersonators. Gas today in my area was $3.14, really? Well, you must not live in California anymore. Well, yes, you can avoid paying taxes because what I plan on doing, 907, is create a flat tax. that if Congress passes it, now that's the big question, if the two-party system will pass this flat tax, we'll make it so that anybody who makes less than $100,000 a year won't pay any income taxes at all. But when you buy something other than a non-food item, or anything like a non-food item, other than food, it will be taxed 10%. That's the goal. So there probably would be a 10% tax on a gallon of gas as well. But we probably build that into a restructuring of what I call the Department of Energy. The Department of Energy doesn't oversee anything related to oil right now. Believe it or not, many people don't know this, but believe it or not, oil is seen as a commodity, not a resource. Our country wouldn't even run on it, wouldn't even function if we didn't have it. No, I said, have you ever seen anybody break dance during the blackface show? I didn't say I was going to do that. I was asking a rhetorical question, and you perceived me. You see, this is how perceptions can oftentimes lead you astray. I am an awesome talent and also a genius. It's true. Okay, Putin, coming from, is this Meow TV? You better not come after a nuclear-armed Russia. Exactly. This is why I contend that Barack Obama is either insane or doesn't understand that Putin
A sorry-looking convoy
is serious.
one of Ukraine's volunteer battalions beating a hasty retreat, it seems, from the country's embattled southeast. Anti-Putin scrawl on the back of this car, not much good as it rattles its way out of the conflict zone. Past Mariupol, we meet members of the volunteer Dnipro battalion huddled beneath a tree. On Wednesday, they say they were routed from the town of Novoazovsk, close to the Russian border, by Russian forces, backed up by cross-border artillery shelling. They're regular Russian troops, the commander tells me, and I have information which I can prove 100% that the tank drivers are local, but that they got special training in Russia. CNN can't verify his claims, but he's convinced the separate.
And CNN cannot verify whether this is a paid informant for the CIA. It's old news, Meow. Thanks. I don't think anything's confirmed 100%. No, you'd like to think Russia is launching a nuclear attack, but I'm afraid not everyone is as rash and extremist as you, Meow TV. Thank God. Equal taxes for equal men? Well, it was a simple plan of 10% on everything above $100,000. So it is an equal tax plan for everybody who makes over $100,000. That includes churches and nonprofits. Well, I'm not a parrot either. I'm more like a songbird. But in case you didn't know, songbirds are a relative of a parrot. David, do you think you should be one vote, one man, or winning? No, I think one vote, one man is the perfect solution. And a popular vote should supersede an electoral college vote, meaning it should be more important. Right now, the opposite is true. I don't know. Sarah's her own kind of bird. Birds of a feather flock together. Okay. All right. Let's just talk about something related to your freedom, okay? The last vestiges of your freedom. How many people are concerned about their emails being watched by the NSA? I'm not concerned because I'm basically out in the open. I have no anger at the country. I would never plot to hurt anybody. I mean, so I really don't care. But I seriously am concerned about the NSA doing this. Just because I'm a good guy doesn't mean I don't, you know, I want other good guys to be. I really don't like the fact that they're doing it, but, you know, I'm not a romantic, no. I was a scientific empiricist for years. Yeah, why isn't one man, one vote instead of having to win a state? I know. Well, we believe in election reform, and election finance reform, and we believe in term limits. But again, the only way you're going to make any of that happen is if we have a third party do it. Because the two parties that are entrenched right now are not going to pass term limits. They don't want to lose their job in 2 terms. 2 terms for senators and 4 terms for representatives. That's what we propose. You're boring, like watching paint dry? Right, but you don't like anyone peeking in your private life. Harvick Fan, thanks for sharing your concerns. Well, that's how I feel too. I don't like the idea of them listening to 100 million emails every day, or excuse me, every year. 100 million, that's what they say that they're listening and keeping records of. And Obama acted like none of this is happening. So Angela Merkel got Obama on the phone and started saying, Barack, you have my phone calls with my lover on the mobile phone. I'm just hypothetically saying she said that. I don't think she has a lover, but anyone who loves Angela Merkel, I mean, probably would want their privacy protected. Anyway, she was very upset, talked to him for a couple hours after he did the Jay Leno show, where he, well, make no mistake about it, they're not listening in. Of course they're listening in. How do you think they found out you were gay, Brock? I mean, seriously. You think that love affair with Reggie Love was going to last forever? No one was going to know about it? I mean, he literally 3 years in the office of the presidency, and he was having a private moment with his body man for 3 years. Literally. I mean, how weird is that? Reggie Love. He was even with him when Osama bin Laden was allegedly killed, which I don't even believe that happened.
Most people were like down in the Situation Room. He was like, I'm not going to be down here. I can't watch this entire thing. And just, so he, myself, Pete, Susan, the White House photographer, and Marvin, we must have played 15 games of spades.
Wow. So, no, this is not the proverbial antidote on homosexual presidents. I just wanted to mention how corrupt this guy is, that he would lie to everybody. It sounded like Bill Hicks. Well, Bill Hicks looks a lot like, you know, Alex Jones. You probably heard this whole story, right? Alex Jones is Bill Hicks.
I'll be your captain for this afternoon, evening, or morning.
Okay, our captain has arrived. Check this video out. He did a pretty good job of comparing Bill Hicks' face to Alex Jones. This was Alex Jones and Bill Hicks right around the time of his alleged death, Bill Hicks. And Alex Jones emerged with a brand new body, and then some facial recognition surgery was done. As you can see, that's him. There's the tooth, the famous tooth picture. Yeah, that's the same teeth, essentially. Same guy, pretty much. All right, back to you. It is interesting, but let's not waste time talking about Alex Jones. That's a lot of games of spades before getting bored. Well, Spawn and SquarePants, Reggie Love was spending his entire time playing spades with Barack Obama, instead of Barack Obama being in the Situation Room addressing the death of Osama bin Laden. So he literally claimed Obama was somewhere else, not in the Situation Room. So the theory that ice is a bucket equals ISIS bucket, that's interesting, Power J. You believe that this ice bucket thing is part of a conspiracy? The ALS/CIA conspiracy? Rodney loves this segment. Rodney, are you getting all excited because I talked about Obama's homosexual tendencies? Yeah. Okay, let's not talk about that. Ice is ice. Ice is ice. Sounds like something Scarface would say, you know? Okay. Okay, ice is ice. Okay? Say hello to my little friend. Good evening, Power J, and thank you for posting a link in our show. Let's take a look. Oh, this looks good. Timeline photos. Expenses for year ending. Administrative costs, fundraising, research. The Ice Bucket Challenge. It admits less than 27% of donations, funds, research, and cures. Huh. Great picture. I'm going to put that in my picture library. Well, let's be clear. Everything's all BS. I'll call this ALS. Ice. ALS, ice, slice. Okay, thank you. Great, great link. Dun, 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 dun. I'm good at impersonating voices, yeah. I'm pretty close. I'm spot on sometimes. Especially when I look like William Macy from Fargo. The used car salesman who's spineless and goofy. You know, I am so much better looking than William Macy. I can't tell you. His face is like a wrinkled prune. I have hardly any wrinkles, except for these right here, which could easily be removed with a good shot of Botox. I should contact Joan Rivers. Oh, that's right, she's in a coma. I can't call her. I was going to ask her if she would comment on the statement she made about Michelle Obama being a dude or a man. Remember when she said, "It's okay, Michelle Obama is a guy," and then 2 weeks later she's in a coma. I do look a little bit like, I look like a lot of people. You know, I find that there's doppelgangers out there all over the place. I look a lot like this guy without a beard.
Who owns the media?
Yeah, who owns the media?
Yeah. This is a question that has now come to the fore with the recent statement by Oliver Stone, who said that Jews dominate the media. Stone pointed out that because of this domination, public discourse on crucial issues that face our nation is being suppressed. But after intense pressure from the Jewish community, who act as America's thought police, Oliver Stone apologized and retracted his statement.
Yeah, I look like a lot of people, not just him. The day's first State of the Union address. Yeah, okay. Just because I look like him, you don't have to make a big deal. I'm not Jewish, in case you're wondering, and neither is he. He's actually he was Jewish by heritage, but all right, Al Jolson, what's going on? Please, do not ever refer to me as Hitler. Al, good night, Sunstar. Sleep well. I like Jewish people, Rodney. You know that. I'm just not Jewish myself. Lots of Jewish people have said, hello, brother of another mother, how are you? And I go, what do you mean, brother of another mother? I'm not sure what you're talking about. No, your blackface routine is embossed in history. No one could even keep up with Al Jolson. Al Jolson was the greatest entertainer of all times. It's fascinating, you know, when you look at 40 years of entertainment that led to the African-American entertainment industry, speckled with all this negativity coming from the Democrats. Okay, so we have an issue that I talked about earlier tonight. We have a video here showing the kind of problem that is persisting in our country constantly. And I'm going to blow this up, so I don't mean, you know, detonate. I'm taking blow the picture up. So all of you can see what we're dealing with here. It's not pretty. It's an endless spew of pollution. This happens to be a refinery in New Jersey I was photographing one day. But it's going on all around the country. Melissa says Joan Rivers is resting comfortably after being rushed to the hospital. Good, 2014. Is she, is her mind okay? I've known nothing but Jewish people who stand there and tell me, hello, my brother of another mother. It's a common expression. But they don't realize I'm not Jewish. She's brain dead? Well, at least she's in peace. I'm sure in the interest of Joan Rivers we should make a joke about this, but I don't think anyone should laugh at this time. She's doing okay. She's not brain dead. She's doing okay. She's been rushed to the hospital after making allegations that Michelle Obama was a dude. She then was rushed to the hospital after a procedure on her throat, or was it her endoscopy or something? When it was reported yesterday that Joan Rivers had been rushed to the hospital after her heart stopped beating and her lungs stopped breathing during a throat procedure, my first reaction was to scream, no, while clutching at an egg of Sully putty. and praying the rosary on the fine craftsmanship and exquisite detail of Joan Rivers for HSN beaded necklace. Okay, where does this go? She's currently in a medically induced coma. Okay, she's doing okay for now. See, doctors will put people in a medically induced coma just to calm the system down from swelling. All right, I bet she's got a few more performances left. Stop telling me rest in peace when she's not even dead yet. Well, I don't know if Obama did it, but you know, there was that discussion about Michelle that hit the news 2 weeks ago. Well, when she said, it's no big deal. Let me get a copy of that. Joan Rivers on Michael. Here is her last. She's not dead yet, Hannah. Come on. David says she looks
for
terrible.
the July fireworks? Not Joan Rivers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the comedian who lately has been censoring her own typically outrageous commentary recently officiated a same-sex wedding.
When a photographer pitched her a question, the response was, typical Rivers.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman
We already
president?
have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know, Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
And just when you think she said it all, Joan Rivers goes and shocks us all over again.
Okay, so here she was promoting her new book when some PETA supporters asked her why she still wears fur, including fur on the cover of her book.
Absolutely right.
And Rivers didn't seem too pleased with the question. Listen to this.
Oh, shut up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Let's take another look at something else here.
Miss Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I'm so excited. And I should do very well because I don't show.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman
We already
president?
have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know, Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. That was the handshake of a lifetime. Will you please show some respect for one of the greatest comedians in U.S. history? I mean, she's one step below Lucille Ball in the overall ratings of great comedians. Federal's bulletin describes threat of imminent terrorist attack on southern border. This is from National Review Online. For those of us who've been raising doubts about the possibility, or alarms about the jihadist threat and the national security vulnerability created by the Obama administration's non-enforcement of immigration laws, this is not a surprise, particularly less than 2 weeks before September 11th. But it's nonetheless jarring to read. Wow. Jarring to read. Here it is. Islamic terrorist groups are operating in the Mexican border city of Juarez and planning to attack the U.S. with car bombs or other vehicle-borne improvised explosive devices. VBIEDs. Vehicle-borne improvised explosive devices. I hear you, man. Well, for all of us, we're concerned about this. You mean TikTok discount? You're an American. You're just as vulnerable. What do you mean TikTok discount? I'm going to perceive that as a threat. Explain yourself, Rodney. When I was in China, I had a bleep bleep feel. Unwanted man. I'm sorry for the way things are in China. I'm sorry for the pollution in the land. Found on a laptop. Power J. Well, I mean, Rodney, what do you mean TikTok discount? What's that mean? Well, let's be clear. Judicial Watch Federal Bulletin describes the threat of imminent terrorist attack on the southern border. Yeah, I just read that. Why are you? You're posting it now too. Judicial Watch? I don't think so. With open borders, it can come true. I know. The whole thing has been a problem from the get-go. You like Rodney Dangerfield? Yeah, I love Rodney. I'll tell you, I get no respect. Just the other day, my wife, take her for example. She says to me, I'm going to give your head a little freezer. No, I didn't. Actually, he put his head in the freezer. She put his head in the freezer. He wanted cryogenics. So he ended up getting his head frozen. And you really think that the Mexican cartels are just letting this happen? I pity the ISIS dude who you're going to try that, and their head will be found in... Exactly. Can you imagine ISIS versus drug cartels? No, I have not read the Drudge Report. Is that something I should read right now? Juarez is a nice vacation spot, especially if you're an Illuminati sex slave. Yeah, we've got a copy of an Illuminati sex slave right here that you'd love to see. I don't normally play this for people, but why not, you know? Do you want to see it? I won't show it to you then. Sorry. Okay, I understand. She's under investigation? All right, sorry. Okay, next question. Yeah, this is a world based on need, Buck, and we all need spiritual help. That's why you're here. Buck will recite from the Bible at any time without a moment's notice. Okay, Unwanted Man is making a joke about Joan, who's in a coma, and Robin, who's now dead. I can't play the video for you, the sex slave video. I'm sorry. There's too many laws against it. Hang on. Okay, we got a question. Go ahead. We got a question from the Rodney guy. Go ahead. Hello.
Does the show start, Karen?
Hey, that's a good one. It's almost over. We've got 30 more minutes.
Yeah, we can even end it early.
Yes, I'm doing an Obama impersonation coming up. I never end the show early. You can just, you know. I will be doing an Obama impersonation video coming up on October 31st. I might add a few other impersonations from cameo presidents in the past. I'm working on a couple of prepared videos, I think, like questions from previous presidents. All right, so that's a little disturbing to hear that there's an imminent terrorist attack on the southern border from people that are ISIS-related. They're penetrating our weak immigration policies. Well, I could do an all-nighter that night, but I can only fit 3 hours of face makeup on. I talked to my skin doctor, and he said that it would probably be best if I pulled the makeup off after about 3 hours. I don't have a skin doctor, unless you call Dr. Leonard my skin doctor. It's a publication. I order products in the mail, like Noxzema and things to get makeup on. Well, Obama can't seek a third term. He's technically under 100 pounds, so I'll be doing a new one coming up by myself, October 31st, the whole night. It's the most wonderful day of the year. It's a time when you go to the church and pray and spend your time thinking of God and Jesus and Allah or whatever you believe in. It's the most wonderful time of the year. All right, so now let's get back to what really matters here. 4 out of 4 dermatologists have said that you need to get the blackface off within 3 hours. My stance on the coal industry is that I support it, Mr. Zog. I support it with 100% backing. I will not stop coal. I will, however, begin the process of creating looped carbon and begin cleaning the atmosphere. What a concept. It's called the Future Gen Project, and it's been in the works for about, I'd say 7 years, and it's about time to release it for the American people. The Future Gen Project is a way of getting clean coal technology. and beginning the sequestration process of putting carbon into the ground in liquid form. Yeah, you are an idiot. Wow, you got all that from me talking about the FutureGen project? You are an idiot. That's funny. It was a funny Christmas, and it really was fun, but now we've got nuclear devastation ahead. It's the most screwed up Christmas of the year. I can't wait till Christmas comes. It'll be rockets red blasting in Ukraine and people starving in Syria. It's the most screwed up Christmas of the year. I can't answer your question, Hannah. You're too perverted. Russia supplying Ukrainian rebel exactly. Can you possibly? Yeah, NATO is saying Russia is supplying Ukraine. Yeah, NATO is bound to say that. They're itching for a war with Russia for some reason. I don't understand why. The blackface is designed to put me over the top, yes. I deployed blackface in 2008, and then again it reemerged in 2010, and it's already been very, very good for me. Many people think I'm just absolutely horrible for doing it, but frankly, I insist I have the freedom to do this in America, and if anyone takes my freedom of speech away, and I have never made a racist slur in any of the videos. I'm not a racist, and I'm not an idiot either. Don't underestimate me. I'm far from an idiot. Don't underestimate me. Some people say, you know, a guy could be dumb like a fox. You may think I'm an absolute moron for doing a blackface impersonation of a bad president, but it's actually the only thing that I could have done to make you aware of what an Obama-tard you are and how you've ruined our nation by allowing his flagrantly abusive policies. I'm getting upset. Let me calm down. Well, that's true. No one can do blackface better than Dave. And even I like that. No, you're the racist. You don't like white people. Either that or you're Jewish and you don't like the fact that you're white. Something like that. Dumb like the fox. No, dumb like a fox. Have you ever heard the expression? It predates you. I'm a lot older than you, Rodney. You've had 21 views in 2 days. You realize how unviral that video is? All right. Sarah's going to talk to you guys about what's going on. What's happening? The Drudge Report says Feds warn of attack on southern border. And Jones still in a coma, developing story. Flashback. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I just poke that poke. 23 views is nothing. Yeah. We all have orbital defense systems. Well, you sound a lot like Richard Nixon. I want to make this perfectly clear. Well, let's be perfectly clear. Slight difference in tonality. I want to make this perfectly clear. Well, let's be clear. Slight difference. He did borrow that idea from Nixon. When he was trained at the MK Ultra CIA training camps, Barack Obama became the quintessential teleprompter reader that all of you's be lacking. The nuclear option is obsolete. That's correct, Buck. And the problem is these people that want to push the button on how much conventional warfare we can have before we hit the nuclear bomb are about ready to do it with Vladimir Putin. He's putting out the message that we are Russia and we are nuclear armed and do not mess with Russia. Barack Obama already pretty much conceded Ukraine when he didn't do anything to build up troops at the border, when he should have done that immediately when they took Crimea. But Barack Obama is too little too late and basically not the sharpest stick on the block.
I mean, of course, there's a thing here about Obama's can't do attitude, because he basically he said that we don't have a strategy yet.
Yeah, we don't have a strategy against ISIS or Syria.
Yeah, against
ISIS.
ISIS.
He has a strategy. Somebody told him, well, what about strategical surgical strikes, Barack Obama, in Iraq to help Prime Minister Maliki? And Barack Obama was probably there with a light beer going, oh, well, let's be perfectly clear. You're saying we're losing ground in Iraq? Could I get a dark beer? Thanks. And you're telling me we should do surgical strikes? Well, that's a good idea. Why don't we do them in Syria and Ukraine and all over the world? I didn't know we had the ability to do surgical strikes. No, I will not do the ALS challenge because, frankly, I don't think 27% is enough to go to the ALS research. I mean, when they prove that most of the money is going to ALS research, then I'll take an ice bucket and I'll have it doused all over my body. You, sir, are a lying hypocrite yourself, and you need to get out of my room. I will ban you every time you denigrate this show. I told you that. This is not a microcosm of your little democracy that you seem to think you have.
Yeah, it's like if you do have freedom of speech, go start your own show.
Yeah, start your own show. Yeah, exactly. I can control the dialogue up to a point.
On your own show.
Al Jolson says Obama's goal is to destroy America. I know. Based on his actions, he seems to be sabotaging our economy and putting us closer to war with superpowers. It's absurd. He's a true lame duck president. I've been saying it for 6 years. I know. I know America was never a democracy. We don't even have the word democracy in our Constitution. But I still support the idea of a 2/3 majority democracy, a super majority democracy. I don't support the Democrats embracing a 51% democracy, which is not a democracy, it's a mobocracy. I know, he's a total joke. He's a paper suit, and I'm sorry to say he doesn't look well. I hope Joe Biden is working out in the weight room at the White House right now, because Barack Obama doesn't look like he's got long, for real. It looks like AIDS, doesn't it, Rodney? I've never seen him as bad as he looked just the other day. Yes, we've had a lot of good presidents. I think, in retrospect, even though I didn't vote for Ronald Reagan, I think he was overall a good president. Not the smartest tack on the block either, but you know, he did galvanize somewhat of a centrist position and worked well as a leader and a shining leader for our country. So in essence, I think he was better than any other president prior to or right after John F. Kennedy. I like John F. Kennedy. I think he was one of our best overall presidents. And we lost him so soon in his life. It really is sad. Well, let's be clear. Yeah, you like JFK too? Is the best, yeah. And you know, I lived through that time when we lost the president. I was just a kid. I was born in 1960, so. Sarah's in the room. She's in the room, Rodney. Come on in. Let me get rid of this.
The way the camera's sitting. I don't know which camera.
It's not my birthday.
But thanks.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. I don't believe that Ronald Reagan was a closet gay. You know, he didn't get along with his son, Ronnie, for that very reason that his son was openly gay. I read the biography written about Ronald Reagan recently, the most recent one written by Ronald Reagan, Ronnie Reagan. And he did not have the best relations with his dad on a lot of levels. But hey, no, you're welcome to come in here and spout your dogma, but frankly, you're not political, dude. You're just derogatory. She's not cut off from the screen. I'll just step out of the show a little bit. There you go. Come on in.
I'm not cut off. I'm okay.
Well, I think we can pull back on the camera. It's probably too close. I'll figure that out. But we're going to be off the show in just a bit. Did you get rid of the other? Did you get rid of the links I had I queued up already?
I had some of them.
Oh, we need.
They're down there. I didn't get rid of them.
Oh, okay. We've got a Joan Rivers video I have to make a copy of. If you don't mind, I'm going to take up the screen right now and do a little record, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay.
Because this thing, you'll notice it doesn't have an embedded download feature in it. And I want to do a recording because this may be the last vestige we have of this amazing woman talking about what I believe is true. You don't have to agree with me. About Michelle Obama being a man. Okay, I'm going to do this over our screen right now, everybody. And I'm going to do a quick recording so we're going to mute my mic.
Mr. Rivers, how are you? you made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And I should do very well because I don't shop.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman
We already
president?
have it with Obama, so let's just calm down. You know, Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I just wanted to get a copy of that because this may be one of her last on-camera appearances, that and the PETA conference, the PETA conference. Guest 513, a lot of you people don't realize that I've got a much larger game plan here. And if you think that for a second that a small election where the Democrats, Republicans cheated by stealing my signs is going to stop me, you're very mistaken. I did the local election, number one, because it was affordable. It was $420.06. And number two, I really needed a litmus test check to see the corruption level in America, and I found out it really is corrupt. These two parties will lie, cheat, and steal just to retain power. It's not racism at all. There's nothing racist about the video. It's a parody of Barack Obama being a liar, which he clearly is. Now you, the people calling me a racist, are the ones that brought us the Obama fiasco. And you're the one calling the messenger who tried to save our nation the past 6 years the bad guy? You realize how it's going to look pretty soon? Well, you're already looking like crap because you stole my signs and you've shown your true colors. You're the moron because you don't understand what this country is predicated on, freedom of speech. You totally lost it. And I'm going to prove to you what freedom of speech is all about as we go down the road here. You're going to hear a lot of crap about how you created the failure called Obama. And you literally didn't even vet him for his background. It's sad what's gone on in this country over the past 6 years. I don't need to prove it. I have a witness right here who saw most of my signs removed.
Yeah.
I have a witness right here. Most of my signs were removed the first day I put them out, which means I missed like 2 months in various areas of signage that I had created, Sarah and I had worked hard on, and you guys stole them. I should be angry. I'm not that angry, but I should be. It was just a litmus test to see how corrupt you people are. Believe me. You haven't seen the last of me. I'm just getting started. And you know, by the way, using a foreign-controlled newspaper to influence political elections may very well have been a violation. I'm still researching it right now. Well, rock out like crazy. All I can say is I'm not afraid. Nobody's going to make me live in fear. I'll tell you, I have total command of my future. And if someone were to take a pot shot at me, they'd be facing return fire. Especially in my house. We have a castle law here. If somebody were to breach my barriers, my boundaries, and threaten me, mortal life and danger, myself or Sarah, I would use absolute deadly force in stopping them here in my house. Count on it. Dude, if you think I've got a BB gun, that's fine. Whatever. Go check out my video. I'll show you my video tonight. We'll queue it up in the list of online videos. I'll play a couple of videos. I've done a bunch of impersonation videos. One of them is called the President video, where I do multiple impersonations of presidents. It's a pretty old video. It's a rough copy. And it's also designed to be rough so you don't copy it. But I'll play a few of those for you in the after show here. Let me cue it up.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, David will make some videos available for you for the after show. Coming up in about 14 minutes. And then, of course, we'll be back tomorrow evening. for more political discussion.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be here for another 15 minutes. I'm just queuing these things up so I have them ready to go. One is called the Spawning of America, and that's a pretty good video. Me talking about how gun control really is a bad decision. We don't need gun control. Our nation is more secure and safer from a tyrannical government and from criminals, robbers, home invaders. Sorry. We'll get that up and running in just a bit. I just want to pull these up. They didn't pull up in a video list. Sometimes that doesn't pull up video lists. The spawning.
Platform.
Yeah, I like the platform video. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
It's a cool video, yeah. Okay, let's get that up. That's an old video. I went through our videos today and looked through various things.
Are you adding these to playlists?
No, I can't. I'm just going to add them one by one just to show people what I'm, some of the stuff I've done. For them to call an impersonation artist and a voiceover artist like myself a racist is it's like a violation of my artistic freedom, for one.
We can't do a playlist?
I said no. I said no. We can't. I tried. You can try right now if you want. Yeah, I'm going to show the old videos. No, go ahead. I tried. They wouldn't grab. Go ahead and grab them. If you want to try it, I'll do it. Yes, believe it or not, I was a voiceover artist for years. How do you think I can sit here and afford to do this? No, I'm not high. I don't get high on the show. I told you that. It's racist to claim I am not allowed to express my heritage of my history. They're right in the general section, right in here. See, that's the only one. Those are the only ones that open up. So you can't grab them here. Yeah. See, they just won't grab. For some reason, they won't play on the video playlist, and that's a function of the fact that it's limited.
Well, okay. I'm just not sure if we're going to be here to
oh, okay. Well, I'm going to put together a video playlist of those right afterward. Okay. Thank you. Let's take a look here and see what we got. This is Freedom Friday, so we've got some fun stuff to play with you tonight, especially on immigration. We're going to show you a border stand-down that appeared on Alex Jones' show, where a gate was left wide open about a month ago. We're also going to show you undercover with a drug cartel Mexican drug lord. That's another interesting one. And illegal immigrants receiving billions of dollars illegally through an IRS scam. I'm going to feature that tonight. And you'll see the Juarez drug cartels up close and personal today. Then we're going to move on from there and talk about freedom, with a video which I believe is one of the best videos ever made. And it's called From Freedom to Fascism. I thought I did, but it's not here. He was in social issues, but maybe it's not popping up. Okay, we won't play that Freedom for Fascism. Let's talk about politics instead. We'll talk about Nixon's video we just took of him talking about discussing homosexuals at the Bohemian Grove. That's fun. We just got a copy of that. An interview with Dick Cheney from 1994. Many of you Republicans might like that. And here's Eric Holder talking about how we need to brainwash people against guns to force them to get into this. And then Dianne Feinstein is going to close with how she's upset at the CIA hacking their files, and then she's going to go on to talk about the First Amendment and how that needs to be amended, claiming it's a privilege, not a right. Then we'll bring on George Bush's New World Order speech.
Hello. This is Sarah Hart. Who is this?
Hey, Sarah. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
I'm doing much better now that you picked up.
God. All right, do you talk to women like this normally? I mean, do you expect results? I mean, seriously.
I think that's...
Don't you realize it sounds a little creepy when you talk like that?
Yeah, that's the point, dummy.
I'm not a dummy. Don't call me a dummy, dummy. All right, what's your question, Mr. Dummy? What's your question, dummy?
Yeah. The shitty show routine to continue on throughout.
See, he comes in and craps on our show. Acts like it's a crappy show, and it's a good show, isn't it? It's so good, I'm going to play you the initial ban, the guns are banned, why they shouldn't be banned video. Then I'm going to play you my president's video, and then I'm going to close with a whole series of videos, and you get to watch. So thanks for coming in tonight. I'm doing a little closer early. Just come on in tomorrow night. We'll talk about how to keep this war from starting in Ukraine, Iraq, and Syria. We've got an anti-war rally starting at 6 o'clock. It's a good show. Thank you, Spawn and SquarePants. 6 o'clock tomorrow, anti-war rally. Be there or be square. Now here's my video on why we don't need to ban guns. Want to say good night?
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for watching.
And you can close down the Hangout.